2 hours. And three,
Or 5 hours.
2, 1. What's up, guys? Studfit here. We have episode 51. This is the season finale of season 2 of Kart Talk. I'm joined by a lot of my great friends, some who you've seen before, and some brand new faces as well. One that you've probably seen more than others on this channel. I have to say hello to Antilove. This is your first time on Kart Talk. How you doing, man? And are you nervous?
There was a five-way tie in the multiplayer? Because we have a lot of guest stars on the rundown this week. What's going on? I'm kind of confused.
Oh, yeah, sorry, this is not the rundown. Never mind. This is Kart Talk. Yes.
Yeah, I'm super nervous. I've never been on TV before, so hi, Mom. And yeah, let's go.
Good. So I popping out the chat. I'm gonna make sure that we're all there. I think it looks like we're live. But let us know. I know my voice might be a little delayed in how it's coming out, but I think everyone else should be fine. This is the way I have it set up. Too bad. I might be a little louder or more quiet than others, but I'm using the OBS to be able to record a Zoom call. So let us know if you can't hear anybody, and then we'll just ask people to get closer to the mic if you can't hear them. But this is as good as the setup is going to be. I'll just let you know that now. But thank you guys for joining. As we mentioned, Antilev is here. He's back. We also have two super studs who you've seen before. So welcome back to Hero and Kareem the Dream. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. How about you doing? How are you guys doing?
Yeah, good one. Kareem, how are you doing? Are you on mute?
No, I'm not on mute at all. It's just I'm quite excited for two reasons. Having my number one fan hero here at the same time is quite a special moment. And honestly, I'm a little bit starstruck being in the same place as Antilev. Like, I don't quite know what to do with myself. So apologies if I, don't keep it together. But I'm going to try.
I'll send you an autograph after the show.
No, it's great. I like all. Obviously, I'm very familiar with all you guys. And Sana, just good to meet her as well. And I didn't know it was the season finale, and I can't think of a better crown to end the finale on. So
I appreciate that, man. Well, again, coming up on 2 years. Next episode will be episode 52, 26 months in a year. 26 weeks in a year, and we do this every 2 weeks. So be coming up on 2 years of the of doing this with you guys. I couldn't imagine a better cast to have us with, and we also have a hero of the skies. Congratulations on member for 24 months, just to kind of signify the fact that we've been having memberships for the last 2 years, right around the same time we launched Kart Talk. So thank you, hero. Thank you all to who have been members and to keep this channel alive and kicking and taken to the next level. So I appreciate that. One person that you've met before, but happy to have back, Aviquado. How are you doing? How's Hawaii?
Hi, guys.
Aloha.
It's very rainy right now, actually. So I'm thankful for that. So yeah, it's nice.
Nice. Now I will say a lot of this episode was arranged around SMG or SM Games, aka Sauna, which we'll ask which would have preferred to be called on the episode. So I said, you know what? And then I said, what would make you feel comfortable? She said, well, of course, Antilev. Antilev's my BFF. So I arranged for that. And I said, why don't we just kind of stick with this Amsterdam theme? So so crazy. We've been trying to get him on for a while just because he's been crushing the score. So all three of you from Amsterdam, I believe, or hopefully neither one of you have moved since we last talked. But so that's kind of where we have two new guests. We have Sana, aka SM Games, and So Crazy. We'll start with you, Sana. What do you want to be called? And are you excited for this episode, or are you nervous, or how are you feeling about this new episode?
I'm really excited. I didn't mean to be such high maintenance. I'm really sorry we had to reschedule and everything, but we made it happen. So really excited for that and thankful to be here. I've been a long time watcher, but it's just creeping. But recently, came out in the open in the community, a few months ago. So really excited to be here. But also just want to point out that I'm in Stockholm and not in Amsterdam. But still, Europe represent, so.
Okay, Stockholm. There we go. And by the way, you prefer to be called Sana?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sauna, SMG, whatever you guys.
SMG. Okay, and she is a huge Lightning McQueen fan, so can't make an introduction without that. So.
Oh God.
Yeah. We also have So Crazy. Did I also get your location incorrect, or you are from Amsterdam?
I'm not from Amsterdam. I live more higher up in the northern part of the country. I've never done this type of thing before. A little nervous, but we'll make it work.
You're gonna do great, man. Now, I will say my first introduction to So Crazy has been its absolutely bonkers action count scores. I don't even know how many times you won our action count competition, but it's more than I can obviously remember off the top of my head. So obviously a very, very skilled player, somebody I've been wanting to have on for a while. So I'm so glad you're able to make it. I'm sure you won't. After about 2 minutes, you'll realize we're just people hanging out, talk about Mario Kart Tour, and those nerves will go away. We got a lot to get into, though. We have some really fun topics coming in, but I wanted to first start with our icebreaker. So for those at home, the icebreaker is, what is your favorite Piranha Plant blank variation? So it could be Piranha Plant Cove, Piranha Plant Slide, it could be now Pipeline. What is your favorite Piranha Plant track variation? And then we have a bonus question. What's your favorite Piranha related item? So it could be PD Piranha, PD Mii, the Piranha Mii, Piranha Pipes, Boo Pipes, Gold Pipes, Piranha Plant Balloons, Gold Piranha Balloons, etc. So with that being said, I will have to start with our probably the biggest PD Piranha fan. Well, there's a lot of them. I know that there's a lot in the community, but here maybe on this call, I know Hero, you've been a big fan of PD Piranha before he was introduced to the game. So I'll let you kick this off. What's your favorite Piranha Plant track?
This is a hard question because I'm a huge PD fan. Honestly, like I love all the Piranha Plant tracks, but if I have to go with the number one, I still have to go with the 3DS Piranha Plant Slide. I just absolutely love it. Like going in the water and stuff, and the fact that there's a lot of extra item boxes, which makes it even more fun. And I think on the second of my list, I think I would have to go with Piranha Plant. I think it's Pipeline, right? This new track?
The new line, yeah, Pipeline.
Yeah. I'll go second on that one. I like the whole pipe type of theme. And the third one, I'll have to go with Piranha Plant Cove, unfortunately, only because, it's, I would say Piranha Plant Coves 2 and 3 are mainly you go underwater. So I think that's why I have to put it on the bottom of my list. And if I have to go with my favorite piranha themed type of item, obviously it's the Piranha Pipes. I mean, it's one of my favorite cards ever. I have an 8 quad, and it's absolutely amazing. Even though on your guys' rundown, it's in the 64th percentile, but for me, it's my third best card. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, if you have something, how many other cards do you have level 8 quad?
That's a really good question. I think for cards, I have only one of them, which is your favorite card, anything pink related. So the Pink Comet. Okay. I have it at 8 quad, whereas the rest of my inventory, it's mainly 8 triple, and those are like on the top of my list. So.
Okay. Well, I knew the Pink Comet was there. That's why I asked the question. But then also, to your point, you happen to have one that's 8 triple that's above it. That's even more valuable to your account than 8 quad, which I think is kind of interesting. It could show you that maybe it's so valuable to it. Just like any other pillar that you've made a pillar in your inventory, you can develop your own pillars, and so it's really valuable to your account because you've made it very valuable, and that's totally cool. It's totally fine. Like our Pink Comet, that we've made it very valuable. It may not be valuable for everybody, but it's valuable to us. That's why we love it. With that being said, I'll transition to Aviquado. What is your favorite Piranha Plant track variation?
I think of the new ones, I think the Pipeline Normal is my favorite. Mostly because riding that track with Gold Mii is just so amazing. However, I would say the one the RT version is really fun with Lucky 7. I really enjoy that one. And I was just watching actually Draco try to beat his own record, and it's just enjoyable. The other ones, I mean, the slide normal is great because of all the reasons that Hero stated. Like, just so many boxes, and it's just so much fun. But yeah, that's in terms of tracks. In terms of items, I gotta say sorry here, but like I cannot deal with the pipes. I cannot. Like I cannot. It's just not a car for me. But BD Gold is one of my favorite drivers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
One is Coinboxer. Two is just so big, and like it's just overall, it's just a great design. And actually, the other item that I actually like, even though it's a banana glider, it's the Piranha Planet Balloons. That one is like one of my highest gliders in the game right now. So yeah.
I like it. By the way, you mentioned Draco. We did have a Draco raid. We are premiering this live. So if you have a question for this group of people, definitely post it in the comments or in the live stream. We may or may not get to them. Don't be offended if we don't get to them. We have a lot of questions that I put together. But if you guys have them, I want to put those a higher priority because I want you guys to be incorporated. But I have to give a shout out to Draco who brought his little raid team. Appreciate you guys being here. Shout out to Draco655. And we'll get into a little bit of Pauline Cowgirl here in a few moments. But maybe we'll pop back over to you, Kareem. What is your favorite Piranha Plant track?
I think I'd like to phrase this in terms of what is the one that I hate the least. So I'd probably say the one I like the most would be original T version Piranha. Because, going for like 260 actions with Vol and Dam, that was quite good fun. The problem is the Phantom Straighteners. Yes, skill issue, as everyone says. I don't like tracks that have Phantom Straighteners if you're using a big car. In terms of the coves, I'd probably go, in the order that they came out. 1, 2, 3, probably. 3 was just awful. Like, I don't know what that was all about. And I've been taking the biggest chill tour I think I've ever done in like 2 years. So I can't even remember the pipelines, which one's which, except the fact that I've just started now, and to find out what's going on, I had taken ages to get a lobby and ranked on Pipeline RT, and I've just removed it to go through my items to check what are my favorites. That's the dedication I have for you guys on this channel. And I've come away with, definitely, it's got to be PT Gold, who I have not touched, but I'm going to ape-quad him because this is part of my new philosophy, which is I want to just do Coinbox and have fun and move away from Boomerang. Obviously, PME he's been fantastic. He's, in my opinion, been the second best driver behind Gold-Mii. And PT has been amazing as well. He keeps popping up all the time in my ACR, much to, I mean, it's more and more Boomerang, not exactly what I'm after. Like Avi, I don't like the boo pipes. I don't like how they handle. And then double whammy with the gliders. So when it came out, the Piranha Plant Blues, didn't it? It came out at the same time as the 8-bit 1-up. If I recall, I might be wrong on that. And I decided to go in on, for that reason, I didn't get involved in the 8-bit 1-up. And I know how much I regret that now. And then I also discovered I don't like banana gliders. So,
oh wow.
I honestly, I know I should be more positive, and I apologize for bringing down the mood of this. But honestly, I don't have fond memories when it comes to Piranha stuff. I want to go on to the next tour. I want to marry a circuit, something simple like that, that I can do easily and not get destroyed by some crazy bots and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm sure that's just the answer you guys were looking for. So
if you're gonna be waiting for crazy bots to settle down, you'll be waiting for a while. Just don't hold your breath, man. That day is not coming.
No, I know. I'm not being fair. Like the pipeline, honestly, actually seems all right. I've just, when I say this is the biggest chill tour I've ever had, no joke. I've done absolutely nothing, very deliberately, because I was just so majorly burnt out. And I know that if I carry on going, I won't continue, or I'll stop for a prolonged period of time, which I don't want to do. I love hanging out with you guys and playing the game and stuff. So this to me was a tour that I was quite happy to relax, especially as competitive as it's been. So
Yeah, so you're taking a break, maybe only just finishing like number 5 or 6 in the world this tour is basically what you're saying.
I check your friend ranking. Did you see where I was in rank last week? I was probably in the bottom 20 of your friends list.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Honestly, I just didn't. I wanted to just chill out and relax.
Yeah.
Now you're back in Pick Your Chief.
Yeah, I was gonna say we had some people call you out on that. Matt Aldridge specifically says, "I can't believe I scored higher than you," which is very rare for anybody to do. I do have to give a special shout out to Jeeves, who's celebrating his 2 years of supporting the channel as a Super Stub member. Obviously, we love Jeeves. Thank you for the support, man. Appreciate you. A lot of other people in the chat. Just want to do a quick shout out for those who I have not mentioned yet. I see MKT Fan. I'm just kind of starting around that area. Tyler Lemon. I see a lot of you guys are out in the chat, which is cool to kind of see at the same time. I see Raz. Raz is here. Thoko. I see obviously Nightbot's here. But no, I appreciate you guys. Anyone who's live, ask your question. We'll get to it here in a little bit. But right now we're just getting the icebreakers. We've so far hit a lot of these. I think I've hit on most of the guests who have been seeable. I also want to include in the icebreaker to the new guests a little bit about yourself, when you started playing the game, and some things that you like the community to know. And so, did you already answer this question? Just want to double check.
Well, on this no, I didn't.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and let us know what your favorite Piranha Plant track is.
Yes, so track-wise, I think that's. I'm surprised more people aren't saying that. But Piranha Plant Slide N and T, they're like. I mean, if you could give me an ACR tour that was just those 2 track variants 45 times, I would be happy. They're so much fun. Extra boxes, Boombox Paradise on the T. I mean, it does counterbalance out by the fact that R is like one of the worst, most maddening tracks in the game. But I mean, I guess the universe has to be a little bit in balance. But yeah, Piranha Plant Slide N and T versions, those are the best by far. I think Piranha Plant Cove gets a little bit of an unfair rap just because of the water physics, and they are annoying. But I think it's actually like quite a cool track, and actually pretty fun to boombox there. Okay, so I have to admit, like, I am a weird, masochist that likes grinding boomerang. Like just like 5 to 7% of the population is left-handed. It's the same with people who like boomerang. I'm one of those weird people, so I'm looking at that a lot when I talk about what tracks I like, how fun it is to do boombox there. So, but I mean, if I have to pick a favorite, I would say Slide N and T. As far as items go, I was streaming a bit in voice chat the other day, and somebody asked me, "Hey, is that Mii supposed to look like you?" And I was grinding with the PD Mii suit, and I looked at it, and I was like, "Yeah, I walk around with a big flower bonnet on my head all the time, so that's supposed to be Mii suit." So the PD Mii suit has been. I think Kareem said it. It's been second best driver in the game. Going back, it's maybe lately not so great, but it's been an absolute powerhouse. On top of that, I have to say I have a real affinity for the Piranha balloons, especially my free-to-play account. It's carried my free-to-play account hard. Amazing glider. The only thing I have that's a little bit negative about that is it's prevented me from investing in the 8-bit 1-up because it has a lot of overlap. But still an amazing glider, and yeah, I would probably say if you take the Mii's out, that's probably my favorite item. Yeah, and bananas are fine. Bananas are fine glider item, especially the giant banana.
So look at that, you're dropping knowledge even outside of the rundown. I appreciate that, man. I'm with you there. A lot of good points. I actually don't mind boomerang right now. It's just too much of it. I just like I like boomboxing, but then I'll boombox one and I don't want to do another one for another day or two. I need breaks. Mm-hmm. So I think if I were to do another, massive grind, I'd have to pace myself with the boomerang. But I'm with you there. Some other people in the chat, I see Luca celebrating 11 months as a stud member. Appreciate you, man. Hopefully you're doing well. I see Crainbow out there. I see Johnson and Larry98. Have to give a shout out to my boy Larry98. All right, cool. Now we'll go into so both Sana, and we'll do it in this order. We'll do Sana and So Crazy. But tell us your answer to our icebreaker, which is your favorite Piranha Plant track. But then also let the community know a little bit about yourself, how you started playing the game. You know the drill. You've been watching Kart Talk long enough. We'll start with you, Sana. What's your favorite Piranha Plant track? And then tell the community a little bit about yourself and how you got started in Mario Kart Tour.
Actually, the new Piranha Plant pipeline, they've grown on me. I had high expectations, and then all the stuff about the coins falling through the pipes and everything kind of like inhibited my love for it at the beginning for last week's ranked. But yeah, I'm using Light Blue Shy Guy Explorer on the T version, and it's just so much chaos. I absolutely love it. Like up and down the half pipes, you can stall a lot. So yeah, I think it's like my new favorite Piranha track. As for drivers, I have to say Gold PD. He carried my ranked for like so long. Even though he's kind of like, I guess, falling off a little bit, he's still my boy. I love him. As for when I started playing Mario Kart Tour, like I have the same story like mostly everybody else. Like during COVID, stuck at home. All my friends were abroad. We had this app. It's kind of like an open FaceTime where you could just jump into a group FaceTime whenever. You would get a little notification, and we would just play multiplayer, staying inside, staying safe. And then as the months went on, I was the only one who kept playing, and it just like became a part of my like. I just love this game so much. I've been playing Nintendo games for like since the Wii came out. So yeah, longtime Nintendo fan, but didn't play day one Mario Kart Tour, but yeah. That's my story.
It's a good story. Good story. You don't have to be a day one player to still enjoy this game. Take it from me, who is a pandemic player like yourself. Before we get to So Crazy, I have to give a shout out to Matt Aldridge celebrating 6 months. Many people still don't have any driver karts gliders categories maxed. Is level 9 update ever coming, or was it level 8 the end game? I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that and add that to the questions we'll get to here in a little bit. Also, Tyler Lemon celebrating 3 months. Hopefully you're doing well, man. Hopefully you're loving this brand new tour. And we got Larry 98 celebrating 24 months. As we mentioned, I believe if I did the math right, this is the season finale. I think we skipped one Kart Talk, so this is the finale of season 2. That's why we have such a big cast. But there's a lot of people celebrating 24 months. And honestly, when I mentioned Jeeves, I mentioned Larry 98. These guys have been our super studs from day one, and honestly have been phenomenal supporters of this channel. Love you guys. Thank you so much, Larry 98. Appreciate that. Other people in the chat, I see Ronnie. I see Alberto. Alberto does a lot of support behind the scenes. Love Alberto as well. And I think that's Ronnie Cash. I know is a big Peter Piranha fan. So we'll get to our last and final Piranha Plant favorite track. So Crazy. Let's hit us up with your favorite track variation, your favorite Peter Piranha item, and then how'd you get started in Mario Kart Tour?
My favorite Piranha variation is probably, like Antel have said, the Piranha Plant Slide normal and T version. I don't really dislike the R and RT version, but there's one wall inside that's the bane of my existence that keeps canceling all my drifts. Oh. That's the only reason I would like it. And the reason I probably like the normal and T version so much is because I've played a lot of Mario Kart 7, where that track originated in. I probably have 100, if not thousands of hours in that game. As for my favorite item, it's probably a tie between a Mii suit and the Gold PD. They've both been amazing for me. Gold PD, of course, a heavyweight coin box are always amazing. And the Mii suit, it's a Mii suit, so it's always nice. There's the boomerang. I don't always feel like boomboxing, but it's nice to have. It's in rank this week as well, so I'll be using it. And I've been playing Mario Kart Tour since the first tour, the first two actually. Wow. I remember making a Mario Kart Tour account because you would always get you get 2 free Piples at the beginning. And the first one you could get like Metal Mario and Peach Head and the original high ends. So it would always keep resetting until I get Metal Mario because I really like Metal Mario because that was the character I played in Mario Kart 7. And then after like playing for a track, you would get a free Pipel on the spotlight. So I could keep resetting until the first part gave me Metal Mario and the second part gave me Pauline. And it probably took me a day to get both of them. And then I really enjoyed the first tour and the second tour. And then Beach Vacation came out, got her. And then I stopped playing. I don't really know why. I probably got bored or something. And then after a while, I saw on Twitter the trailer for the Amsterdam tour. And I thought, I have to get in on this. That Rosaline looks amazing. I spent every ruby I got that tour on that pipe. I got the flower card, the rose parasol, and I think even the green sprout from the spotlight pipe the next week. But I did not get Rosalina Volendam, and I was absolutely heartbroken. But luckily, a couple tours later, you could get her again. So that's when I got her. And that's kind of my story.
I love it, man. I love it, man. All right, so this segmented, taking our time getting through everybody is now over. It's a free for all. You can answer any of these questions in any order. Don't hold back, especially for those new members here or new guests on this episode. Got a lot to get into. I will just make one comment I saw in the chat. Be More Funny mentions about how the new Piranha Plant track, we get a little pipe organ in the soundtrack. Raise of hands, who plays with the sound on versus off? Raise hand if you listen to the music in the game. Okay. So over half of us. What do you guys think about the organ sound? I can't add any comments. I've never heard it because I don't normally listen to it with music on. But what do you guys think about the organ?
I don't want to play it. Like I was listening to it, I was like, yeah, this rocks. I kind of want to like try to play it. It's you should listen to it one time. It's pretty cool. Like I don't know, it's like a pipe organ or like a Hammond organ. It's pretty jazzy. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like the music. I hadn't listened to it because usually I'm on Discord and people get annoyed by the sounds as you're playing in BC. But the other day I was like, oh, I'll do it offline and whatever. I was like, oh, I've been missing out basically. I'm not listening to this.
All right, I'll give it a try. But let's use that as our segue into the pipe tour. Obviously, this tour includes a lot of PD stuff, a lot of Piranha stuff, in addition to a variety of other things. I want to first start out with Pauline Cowgirl. She was the surprise this tour. We were all thinking about Wiggler, we got Wiggler, and then all of a sudden a brand new boomerang driver with who was kind of the face, literally, of the tour. What do you guys think about Pauline Cowgirl? Did you get her? Why, if so, why or why not?
I got her, but I'm not planning on investing on her anytime soon because I just enjoy everything else more than I do boomboxing, basically. I mean, I like the design. She looks really cool. Nothing to it. And I feel like just like Kareem has given himself a break in general in the game, I feel like I need to give myself a break from boomboxing because it became a thing where consecutive tours where most of my tracks were boomboxing and I just was losing my mind.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel the same way about Boomerang as some people know. But I picked her up just because she's such a pretty cute.
Yeah, she looks great.
Won't probably invest in her. But yeah, same reason as you. I picked her up.
Now let me ask you this: Are you gonna invest in her her yeehaw wagon to go with her outfit and make it all nice and cohesive? What do you got? Are you guys gonna go into the cow set?
Only the mosaic glider. That one has my heart.
Oh, so you and Angela both love that mosaic glider, huh?
It's so pretty.
It's so
the moment of the announcement, I was like, I'm totally going for that.
I just did data analysis on it. I just said it has a good start. That's all I said.
I mean, it's. I think it has to do with your taste. It's kind of beautiful, but then also kind of over the top. So I don't know. It's not my taste. I'm kind of more subtle, cool style.
Yeah, you're a classy guy.
I don't know. No, it's just a little. It's a little much. I just feel like I'm gonna get a seizure looking at it just with all the colors going at me. But
It's no ribbon, is it? I mean, let's be honest. It's no.
Oh yeah.
the Galaxy ribbon is phenomenal. The other ribbon, not so much. Very boring. Yeah, I'm with you there. Good call out, Kareem. Appreciate that. Raz has just gifted 5 members. Thank you, Raz. So we got some new members joining the Stud fam. Some that have been in before. Happy to have you guys. Thank you, Raz. Appreciate that, my man. Raz hat hype. Cool. All right, good. Yeah, so Edito came in just for the yeehaw. Yeehaw! Let's keep going a little bit more into the tour. Now, this tour obviously is a Nitro tour, technically, and there's a lot of Nitro tracks. What are you guys investing any differently into these Peter Piranha tracks, these Piranha Plant, Cove, and Pipeline? What's your thoughts on Nitro tracks, and do you invest in them more or less or the same?
I'm treating them personally pretty much the same. I don't know, I'm probably completely wrong in this, but I have a feeling that we're sort of getting these nitros and then a mixture of, there's going to be a calamari desert in there, and it's a little harder to sort of predict. And as someone who's been an ACR sort of player, Plant Cove, I think will come around just as much as, I don't know, a vanilla lake or something like that. So it's not the same as a city for sure. That's how I personally treat them. And they tend to be longer tracks, more points available. They often pop up in ranked. So for those sort of reasons, I'll give them a bit more weight, certainly a lot more weight than I would give a city. And how I invest, so go back to Yeehaw, Pauline, Cowgirl. I did the most Kareem thing you can ever do. Got her 3 times. She appeared in my shop. Got her 3 times, and I'm not going to invest in her.
Wow.
That was, it was on that moment where I realized
your life is ending.
How stupid that was. And that, old part of my brain, which was I know how important and how valuable Boomerang is. So Boomerang, when I'm just doing ranked, it's actually quite good fun because it's a really nice challenge. For ACR, that's why I've got my list. I want to go in Gold Luigi Knight because he just looks awesome, but also Gold PT, who I haven't touched or whatever. So that's kind of to increase the longevity of my game. That, Wiggler should be right now 8-1, and he's not. So I forget what the original question was. I've gone off of a complete tangent. I'm so sorry.
Nitro tracks. No, I think you're doing well.
Yeah. So I'm just using this tool to reassess, and I think that Pauline Cowgirl was a real moment where I thought, yeah, man, Kareem, what are you doing? You know what's going to happen if you invest in this character. And I know that I'm going to be letting go of some ranked wins or whatever it may be, but I'm going to keep my sanity, which is, it's worth just about as much as a good ranked win. So for that very reason, I quite like the fact they've given us back-to-back, boomerangs, because it's just made it clearer in my mind that, I had one tour, I had 25 boomerangs. It was just awful. I think we have video evidence of what it did to me. So, this tour has been really nice. I've watched other people grind and go for it, and I can actually just chill, and I've forgotten what that was like, and I'm enjoying it. So, I don't know. I might be back next tour, might be the tour after that, but I get to save some tickets, and then I'm, gonna put them on a nice coin boxer and relax.
Let's get a round of applause for mental health tour for Kareem. You well deserved, man. Great job this whole year, just grinding out top 10s after top 10s. I appreciate you, man. Others on Nitro tracks. How are you investing in them any differently?
Yeah, I would say it's a huge risk in terms of investing in the Nitro tracks because you don't know when they will come back. For example, Merry Mountain, it only shows up during the winter because it's a winter themed track. I believe last year it debuted only once, and Ninja Hideaway appeared only once because it's a spring type of tour. And now we're getting a Nitro, well, obviously with this new track with the Piranha Plant Pipeline, it's like a summer Nitro track. So who knows when that will come back? Maybe in the next year's summer. And same with Piranha Plant Cove. So I would say, like, for me, like the investments, I'm trying so hard not to like invest on those Nitro tracks because again, you don't know when they're coming back, you know. And we even saw it like next tour. I'm jumping a little bit ahead, but like, you know, I believe we're getting like Sydney Sprint coming back, which I think it's a great idea to sprinkle in with one city track in as well. But you know, I'm pretty sure our loadouts are going to be pretty bad because you know it's a city track and you don't know when those cities will come back. So yeah, in terms of your question, I would say like the Nitro tracks, I'm trying my best not to invest on those. If I have amazing loadouts, then great. If not, then it's not the end of the world, in my opinion.
Good answers. Good answers. We'll get to some of that, and I've added a couple questions as we've gone through too. But yeah, no. Let me ask you this kind of like follow-up question. With this Merry Mountain, Ninja Hideaway, Sky High Sunday, could you have like these Nitro tracks be more rare, and then you have like the Piranha Plant, Piranha Pipe, Piranha what am I saying? Like these Cove Pipeline, could you see them like at a different rate? Do you think they could be like treated separately as Nitros?
Probably. I can see that because Sky High Sunday, it's also like a winter or type of Sunday type of tour. So I can see, yeah, the Piranha Plant Cove and Pipeline showing up a little bit more compared to the compared to the season theme tracks, such as Ninja Hideaway, Merry Mountain, and Sky High Sunday. I don't know. What do you guys think?
They made three of them. They made three Piranha Plant Cove tracks. You know, like, yeah. I don't think they're going to make three of them. And then I know they do that with cities. I've definitely got a different feel, but I feel they've been shoved down our throats, actually, these Cove tracks, to be honest with you. But so I imagine that they will still sprinkle up every now and again, whereas the other ones, yeah, they're going to come up on a rota that we can pretty much predict, although I would have thought Sunday would have come by now. Maybe next tour, I don't know. Probably not, but yeah, I would treat them a bit differently for sure.
I mean, the problem is predicting the reappearance rate of tracks in the game now is so difficult because, you know, we have so many tracks. When we had, you know, just like a kind of regular rotation of tracks, it was a little bit easier to say, hey, these are coming back regularly. We can collect data on them and like measure it. And we like, obviously we still do that, but we have 352 non-city tracks in the game in total, that's including the Nitros. And then in total, including all the cities, we have over 500 tracks. We only have 45 tracks per tour. 508 tracks we have in total in the game, including all the cities. That's insane. We only have 45 tracks per tour, maybe 42 unique ones at most. So it's really difficult to predict, you know, personally, and we've done this in the mall for the rundown rankings as well. I like to treat the Nitro tracks all the same as like an older retro. So I'll give it the same way as like a Donut Plains 1 or an Airship Fortress or something that is an older track. It's not heavily paywalled. It's going to come back on a regular basis, but maybe not that often. I think it's kind of reasonable to do that. You know, we see those kind of tracks. Like, you think about like a Bowser Castle 1 or some of the SNES Mario circuits. We see them once, twice a year. And I think it's the same with Ninja Hideaway, with Merry Mountain, Piranha Plant Cove. First of all, there's three of them. And yes, we've had gotten them multiple times recently, but it's pretty new. I think my prediction is that'll fade and it'll kind of move into a sort of regular once, maybe twice per year reappearance rate. So I'm looking at them as I want to cover these the same way. I want to have good full all-around coverage, but I'm not prioritizing it. I don't think they're going to come back. You know, and then by the time they do come back, like, there will probably be a lot of stuff added to the top shelf, so there'll be less paywall. So if I can do a tiebreaker between, you know, upgrading for, say, Yoshi Desert, Dry Ruins, some of the newer retros, I'd much rather go for those than these Nitro tracks, just in terms of account efficiency and min-maxing. That's how I'm looking at it. I don't know.
I mean, I understand that it's like difficult to predict the reappearance rate of the tracks and stuff, but like for just like pure game enjoyment, I kind of like that they're a little bit rarer, so you actually get to like be excited when they come back, and you like the feeling like you can't wait to play like Ninja Hideaway again because it's been gone for 6, 7, 8 months. So for like tracking coverage and stuff, I know it's a pain in the ass, but for just like enjoying the game and the structure of the game, I quite like it, honestly.
So, can you write a formula how rare it should be to get the maximum enjoyment?
Yeah, I'll do that for you. I know you're not so good at Excel, so I'll do that for you.
More of a Google Sheets guy himself. No, like just to kind of hit it home, like Matt Aldridge makes a good example. He said he went high into the Sky High Sundays, but that didn't work out well. But if he had gone into the Piranha Plant Cove set, would be laughing his way to the bank, as it's shown up a number of times since it was released. And that's kind of like one example of what we're drawing here is like, maybe not all Nitro tracks are created equal, and maybe some are.
But sorry to interrupt you, Steph, but not all retro tracks are created equal either. I mean, you could have gone hard on Luigi Circuit, on Daisy Cruiser, and Luigi Circuit we didn't see for 8 months or so after it first came out. It didn't return, and Daisy Cruiser it still hasn't come back after its first. So there is an element of randomness. You're never going to be able to predict, with the best whatever,
Yeah, and I mean everything comes out like in it, like it seems somewhat random. I don't think anyone can predict what tracks are going to be incorporated. A good example would be like Coconut Mall. It was in like the first like 5 tours it was released, and then we didn't see it for like 9 months, and then finally we saw it once, and then now it's back on the shelf. So you never know what's going to happen. Or like Daisy Cruiser is a perfect example of the exact opposite. Just like we literally haven't seen it at all. So it's a good point. None of the tracks are created equal, so it makes it really tough. One thing I want to kind of transition here when we're thinking about these tracks is that although we're maybe investing differently, the thing is that what's been so weird this tour is that the rich have gotten richer. It seems like all the meta items seem to be getting all the right tracks. In fact, I heard from today, Rashid said that the top 100 prediction is around 2.5 million points, which has been absolutely insane. The last couple tours, we've been at like 2.2, 2.3 million. And really, I mean, it's been above 2 million probably since January. That's kind of like when it started, kind of the top 100 being consistently over 2 million. But it continues to rise, continues to inflate. And so we have a couple of different things we can pull up away from this. One will be Matt Aldridge's question we'll get to here in a little bit about, potential of level 9. But here's the thing is like we have all these... Mii's that continue to grow in points. We also have a lot of boomboxing that can increase those scores. We've been getting a lot of plus skills, kind of similar to we did last summer, starting I think it was in like May or so when we got Coinbox Mii, and right when we got introduced to the Gold Mii, and then we had boom, Daisy Tie Dress, and then all these boomerang drivers, PD Piranha and PD Mii, and just like last summer was intense. We're back in the intensity. What do you guys think is contributing to this 2.5 million point score for top 100, the highest we've had for top 100 ever in the game? Is that the Mii's fault? Whose fault is it? And will it continue to balloon? Are we just a couple tours away from 3 million for top 100?
I want to think about that thing. That's too much work, man. But also, we were talking about this earlier today. I think there's a couple factors. One is that, like you said, whomever has invested in all these meta items has great loadouts this tour. So that's one thing. The other thing is that there's an insane amount of people going for top 10 right now. And so they're crowding the top. And for people like me that I'm attempting to go for top 100, I'm basically monitoring the people that are going for top 10 instead of monitoring the people that are going for top 100, because we're all lumped in like, okay, whenever they stop and decide, okay, we cannot make the cutoff, then we realize what's happening. But I feel like a lot more people have gotten into do an ACR than before, which is also a thing. I've heard more and more people that used to be content with just making top 1,000 and they will call it a day going like, you know what, I've invested enough that now it's totally possible to do top 100, and that's great because it means that people are still very much into the game and not getting bored and seeing other ways to play the game other than ranked. But also, I mean, now it's when I guess the medal is getting tested, like who's really gonna keep going every week for top 100 and getting it. But yeah.
Well, kind of like yourself. I mean, I remember it was just a couple months ago. You went for your first top 100, and then you've been going at it. I mean, have you even taken a tour off? I mean, how many have you gotten so far? Congratulations on that.
I think this was my 8th.
Wow.
And I only missed one in between because it was Bowser Tour, and it was just like this one.
Yeah.
High action, very competitive. And right now, I'm not completely sure I'm gonna get top 100. One, work. Two, I'm like a little bit like on my last legs of how much I can squeeze out of this stuff. But also, this was supposed to be a savings tour for me that completely failed.
Yeah.
Like, it completely failed. But good investments only. I didn't do superfluous investments. So
I'm with you. I was last tour was saving tour for me, and I invested in your black Shield Speedster. So I'm with you there. I couldn't resist. It was too beautiful. But what do you guys think? What do you think is impacting this top 100 ballooning?
Go ahead, Ansel.
No, I was just saying we should add Rashid on. He could tell us because the Rashid has a model how he uses predictions, and there's all sorts of different variables in there. Like I've discussed this with him at the length when he first made the model. And like one of those things is like, is it a city tour or a retro tour? This is more a retro tour. Even though there's nitros, but there's no cities. Does it have a new plus skill driver? And like how are the average loadouts? How are the average scores and kind of stuff? And I think this is just a combination of all those factors. Is a new boomerang driver who everybody likes and doesn't mind investing in right away. There's a lot of tracks, a lot of old tracks where people have really cracked loadouts, like triple level 8, double cap, triple cap, quad cap, whatever. The Mii's are all over the place this tour. I think you can cover more than 2/3 of tracks with a plus skill Mii, something like that. I think it's just a whole bunch of factors that are converging at the same time.
Also, the return of 4 battle tracks. We've had 2 battle tracks last couple of tours, and now they've brought us 4. God save us all.
We got a question about that too, man. Yeah, I'm with you. So you think, but last tour was 2 million. They're 2.3 million. It's been going up.
Well, yeah,
but
you gotta remember that we have a few new Mii suits added every single tour. So I know 10 base points per Mii suit isn't a lot, but if you take the sort of aggregation of that over time, that absolutely, it's not just the tickets and people getting stuff to level 8, it's just the fact that Mii suits are only growing in power,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, with Mii suits, I think more people have jumped on that bandwagon, and so I feel that anyone who's going for top 10 is very often buying premium challenges, which helps build, not everyone by any means, but I think quite a few people are. And so you've got, I don't know, your 10, 11, 12 plus skilled Mii's, and then you might say out of that at the moment, the people who've been featuring, maybe Light Blue Shy Guy Explorer, Toad Astronaut, and a couple of others. I feel like there's a pool of like 15 drivers. I just had a look at my heat map now, and there are only 9 tracks where I don't have a Mii, where I'm not using a Mii, and that's like Meowser on Twilight, and so it's becoming so Mii centric in terms of drivers. I feel like with drivers, unless you've got a very unorthodox sort of way of playing at a Draco, for example, I think people are generally all moving in the same direction, and the base points are getting a little bit crazy. And also, people are investing in, I used to like to think there was a lot of diversity in terms of karts and gliders, and there is. That's where I think the fun is to be had. but I mean, Blazing Eagle, Yellow Off-Roaders feature like Red Off-Road. Like, if you've got some of those Brew Crawley, you know, the ones that everyone's sort of, if you've been in and around the game, you're going to have really stellar loadouts and gliders. You know, they just keep getting, you know, 45, 50 tracks. And it's just ended up with ridiculous scores. And we got people play level 400. Not that that's going to make a big difference. I think people are getting better. Expectations, like, you know, looking at optimal counts, you know, now going for double boom boxes, when I remember, you know, back in the day when it was like, oh my God, a boombox on its own was like crazy. People are just pushing the boundaries. People are, it's no longer acceptable to get 90% on your, you know, people are, what, 95, 97. You see the scores posted out there. The skill levels got better. And I think the items, as I said, the drivers, unless you are unorthodox, you're going to be going down the same route. I think that's a big contributor, along with all the other things, of course, you know, that other people have mentioned. Those are just a couple of things I thought as well.
I mean, I can't really speak on top 100 because I've never gone for top 100, only top 1,000. But I used to be able to just like get a few, like if I had a decent run on every track, I would definitely make top 1,000. But now I have to make like a really like a conscious effort and make sure I get like good frenzies, etc., etc. I'm gold pass only with a few like commemoratives thrown in here and there. So I don't know if top 1,000 is like ballooning. I can only imagine what it's like for top 100.
Yeah, especially given like with this tour, like even though we only have one new track, which is the new Nitro track, most of the retros are back, such as the the Dino Dino Jungles, the Sunset Wilds. Those are 200 actions, and whereas what was I think Yoshi Desert and Dry Dry Ruins, I think those are also 200. So I believe 3/4 of this tour, like the action counts are a little bit over 200. So that's what makes it really sky high. And obviously the Mii's too. The Mii's I think have been dominating, and I don't think I wish they can stop with the Mii's because it's just getting too overwhelming and it's kind of getting annoying.
Yeah, certainly we'll do a Mii check, but I'm just kind of looking down through the spreadsheet right now. There are a number that are over 200, but there's also some shorter tracks too.
Yeah.
Some of the Piranha Plant Coves, even Calamari Desert's a really short one too. The Calamari Desert too.
The average track is not like, I just checked mine. The average optimal action for me is 198 this tour. I've had tours be 205, 207. So I immediately went there thinking maybe it's 210, but it's not as high as other ones. So yeah, like I don't think it's just down to action count. I think there's just strong loadouts.
Yeah, and I think that maybe that happens more when there's a new boomerang driver introduced, where there's a boomerang driver
and
on.
Also a new badge. We get a lot of repeat badges these days.
Sure.
And now we have it's not Wiggler, but it's a really good looking badge. So I feel like in a tour like that, people are more inclined to like kind of empty their ticket stash.
So let's
and a big shout out to ticket optimizers. Yeah, as well, but
so you're telling me this tour we're at 2.5 million, like basically 0.2 million higher than last tour. And last tour we had Spartacon.
City tours are almost lower.
Okay.
And the loadouts are very weak, with the Romavantis and stuff, and the Moon Highway. So. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if people are getting
city tour. So I mean that tracks for me.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's getting really that excited about Pauline. Yalene. It's a cool badge. I like it, no doubt, but I don't know if I'm going to make specific investments for that badge. Outside of Draco655, shout out to Draco. I don't know if other people would be doing that. Maybe they are. Maybe I'm out of touch.
The Pauline stands are out there. They're not as loud as the Rosalina stands, but they're out there.
Okay.
Or the Peach stands too.
Okay. Fair enough. Shout out to Wootmoo. Hey, one question I had based on a follow-up question from you, Kareem, is, I'm an Emmett player level 276, so don't shame me. But there are many people at like level 400, people who have been grinding every single track, and I know that there are a lot of people that give that type of dedication. Am I at a disadvantage if I ever go for top 10, or for those who could potentially go for top 100, top 1,000, is the player level like is being 100 player levels below somebody, being in like 276 or 300 and not being at 400, is it at a disadvantage? I know we've been kind of told it doesn't really matter that much, but over the course, I'm kind of curious if either Antilev or Kareem or Hero or any of you guys have done the calculations, if you feel like it does make a difference or not.
29,025 points. That's how many points you would lose in ACR by being level 271 instead of.
What'd you say? How many?
400.
How many points?
29,000 points.
39,000.
29,000.
But not. It's 22,500 for every 100 levels. So if you're someone like sat on level 200, you're basically giving away 45k essentially now to the very top people, and 45k is, if you're going for top 10, if you're someone who's going to be on the fringes, I mean that's massive. That's 1.5% on your heat map, if not more. If you're someone who's going to be hitting through mid because you're just 100% heat map sort of player, that 45k is huge. It can potentially be huge. So how much of a big deal it is? It depends. It's if you're on the edge, then yes, it's massive. If you're not on the edge, then no, it's not worth it. It's
honestly honestly, Studfit, like I went for top 10 a couple months ago, and I was at player level 265 or whatever, and I still managed to get the badge. It's just all that matters is just like how many tickets will you have? That's the main thing, and the timing. And that because time is your main enemy. Because I spent I think 90 hours or 90 to 100 hours on that top 10 run. So, and I had like I think 70 to 80 ticket stash of each like driver kart glider. So, honestly, player level didn't really affect me because if you notice, I got 4th in the top 10 rankings. So, it's all about your time and if you can dedicate it.
Okay. Well, you also are better than me, but
no, you're better than me. You're better than me.
No, but I mean, I'm just kind of curious because at first it was like, oh yeah, I'll lose a couple. I'm not grinding player EXP this tour. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. But now that we've been introduced like 12 variations a tour, like it's starting to add up. Like I didn't realize I was that far behind when I'm not even at 300 and there are people at 400, which is to me just like that. So much dedication goes to that. Kudos to those who have grinded. Like that takes a different level of dedication that I respect. And I just was curious though, like, does that put me at a far advantage? That seems like if I were to go for top 10 ever again, that would be a big drop. So maybe I should at least while the Nitro tracks are here or, during a city tour, get that knocked out. There is one looming question that I'm surprised it wasn't going into the tour. I'm surprised it wasn't going to be our number one question. But first, I have to give a shout out to Nitenja. Nitenja just gifted 5 stud memberships. Thank you, Nitenja, the goat of stud fans. He is a winner of last year of the award for just a super fan. So absolutely love you, Nitenja. Thank you so much. So kind. You don't have to do that. We appreciate it when you do, though. So shout out to Nitenja. So the last question I was going to have, you're probably like on the edge of your seat. Wiggler. What do you think about Wiggler? Like, did they do him dirty? How they introduced him? And how do you compare him versus the Wiggler Mii? What's your thoughts on our brand new original character that no one's talking about? Or are they talking about it? I don't know. You tell me.
I love Wiggler. He was in Mario Kart 7 as a character. I really wished for a start to be way better than it actually is. But I watched the rundown, and there we could see that the start was not that great. The Wiggler Mii suit, its start is also not that great, but it's a Mii suit with a plus skill. So it's gonna be good on most tracks that it has. So if I had to invest in one, it would definitely be the Mii suit, even though I really, really like Wiggler. He's such a funny guy.
He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. So what do you guys think? Wiggler Mii?
I feel like they did Wiggler dirty for some weird reason because he was on a ranked reward, I don't know, because like whenever we're always given a new high-end driver that's given as a rank reward, like for example Toda Astronaut, she's nowhere to be found, and I have a feeling it might be like that for Wiggler. I mean, who knows? I feel bad for people that because like a lot of people wanted Wiggler as the badge, and therefore it would have been extremely competitive because everyone loves Wiggler. So, but yeah, I'm glad that Wiggler is in the game for sure. But I just felt like Nintendo treated him a little bit dirty, in my opinion.
He's a non-Mii that doesn't have coin box or boomerang, which for players like you and me, Studfit, is, I mean, it would have to have some crazy strong coverage. So I know, obviously, look, we're all players who got to pretty high levels, top 1,000, top 100, top 10.
Top 11.
The action count. Like the action count with Giant. So that's why, Giant Banana, it's a lot of fun. Everyone talks about how much fun it is. But it tends to have lower action counts. Like, you don't often cross that 200 threshold with Giant Banana. He might be great for, should we say, slightly newer, weaker accounts, things like that. I would have to let other people tell me that. But I know in amongst the circles that we generally speak to, people who've been playing the game for a long time, that unless you've got a unique, which apparently a lot of people do, a unique sort of fondness towards Wiggler or perhaps Giant Banana, shout out to the Banana Republic, is probably not going to, in terms of just pure power, probably not going to be fantastic for your account. Obviously, Wiggler Mii is a different story, and similar to the coin box approach that I'm taking, it's definitely one of the easier skills to grind, more pleasant skills to grind. But I just think those base points just put him at such a disadvantage, and to bring him out at the same time as Wiggler Mii, who's also got the same skill, he has been done dirty. But I'm not really sure, unless he was coin box or boomerang, kind of how good he could have been.
Well, thankfully, we don't have to spend any rubies on him. But what's your thoughts on Wiggler Mii? I mean, how are you investing in him pretty quickly?
I'm not touching him because I made a pact with Sammy. I don't know if you saw, had the chance to watch when he was doing I came on and I said to him, I said, all right, you can hold me accountable. I'm changing the way I play this game. I'm not gonna just throw my tickets at the next Mii or whatever it is, unless it's coin box. Then I was going to do that, which it obviously wasn't going to be. But in any other time in the last 2 years, I would have been chucking tickets on him, to be honest with you. This is just my own personal new.
So tell us about a little bit more about this new philosophy. So, like, what is the priority? Does it have to do with in the triangle of why we play the game? Is it more the corner of fun versus
exactly
points?
Completely time and fun. I've got other priorities and stuff like that, and I want to enjoy the game. And Giant Banana and Coinbox are the things that I enjoy doing the most. So it's completely that. There's no other way to put it. It's completely that. I feel like I've accomplished pretty much most of what I want to do. So what's left is for me to actually sit back and enjoy the game I'm playing, which of course I have done, but I want to be able to get good scores and stuff like that and have fun at the same time. And so, that's the way I'm approaching it.
But I think it's worth mentioning that Giant Banana is so much fun. I know you said it, but everybody says it's so much fun, yada yada. It is. And you're talking about having more fun with the game. And I'm just a really big proponent of Giant Banana. I love it. I'm thinking about putting some tickets in the Wiggler Mii for this week's ranked. So maybe I'm just trying to hype myself up beforehand. But it is still a competitive skill if you're going for ranked, etc. And it's just so satisfying seeing all the hits, everybody be swirling behind you. So I love Giant Banana. So I'm definitely a big proponent.
New episode goal is convincing Kareem by the end of the episode to invest
Yeah.
in Wiggler-Mii. Let's do it. Our powers combined. We got to do it. All right, good. No, that's helpful. Anyone else want to add about Wiggler-Mii? Because I personally, I will have him by to level 8, triple uncapped by probably in the tour. I'm like one driver ticket away, but I've already triple uncapped him, took him to level 7. So I'm this to Sana's example. Like this is the pinnacle. It's a me and Giant Banana. Like I get time, I get fun, I get points. What's not more to love? I'm all about it.
How's your Morton?
Exactly.
I'm already 8 triple with Morton too. I wish he had better coverage, but that's not his fault. He'll get it. He's a
If I
man.
had made the promise to Sammy, I would do it. But I promised him, and I'm going to keep my word. But no. Yeah, I would. It's a pretty good bandwagon to jump on, in my opinion. My negative words were more about Wiggler himself.
The original,
That
okay.
Giant Banana can't overcome. I find it hard to overcome that. Like I've been running, like dry bones me instead of going for like Pinja or something like that and getting more points. So.
Oh, I know you've been literally holding the flag of the Mii's since day one, even before I was all up in them. So this is why it's so weird to hear this. I know that you got this personal promise stuff, but I'm sure Sammy would understand if you go into it. I still think we can. I think we still can negotiate.
It'll
this.
happen. Just give me a week or two at least. Come on. Yeah.
He's already convinced.
Yeah, if Sammy's listening out there, just let him know he can invest in it. Just say, hey, promise off. You can go ahead and invest in it. All right, so let's move to the other end of the spectrum. We do have some new items here, including the item we mentioned at the top of the show, which are the Piranha pipes. We have the Piranha pipe. So just for context, for those who are new to the game and just started playing here recently, the Piranha pipes were introduced last year along with PD Piranha, PD Mii, the Piranha plant balloons, and it does seem comparatively, that the Piranha pipes might be the least valuable of between PD Piranha, and the Piranha plant pipe balloons. So, and we kind of know this is one thing Nintendo has done in the past. Doesn't guarantee it'll do it. But always there's like a favorite child in the family of a family of items. We're thinking like Silver King, thinking Black Great Sale. There have been these items, and Nintendo of course likes to buck the trend. It likes to flip everything upside down, and whatever's up is down and down is up. But if one of the new items, let's say between the Boo pipes and the Gold pipes, if you had to place a bet on which one of these two could emerge as the favorite child of the Piranha pipes, which one would it be? Or here's the trick part of the question. Or you just say, I don't like the way they handle. I'm not doing any of them. I'm not even if it becomes the Black Great Sale of Karts of 2020, or, the brand new Blazing Eagle, I'm not going into it. Don't like the way it handles. So which of these three camps are you? Boo, Gold, or I don't care?
I don't care.
Wiggler parachute.
Wiggler parachute.
Regular parachute.
I don't care as long as Piranha pipes will remain my favorite compared to blue and gold.
Okay.
I really like the Boo pipes. I think they look very cool. I might pick those up. I might also pick up the gold pipes purely because if they get brought into the rotation, they will be in the gold section. So it turns out to be like an amazing card with a billion tracks, and it's amazing for my account, and I have a 0.002% chance of getting it in my shop every day. I'd rather just buy it and stash it.
So did you play Double Dash?
A lot.
Okay,
I did.
it seems like there is a high correlation with people who are Double Dash players and people who like
Absolutely.
pipes. But it was really like because I didn't really play Double Dash much, just like casually, so obviously I never got it. But it seemed like that was the 100% card, right?
It was.
Yeah, that was like a chase item Double Dash. So I can imagine.
Wasn't the
It looks-
gold card the 100% one in Double Dash? You got the gold ceremonial card. Sorry to jump in there. That's what I remember as being the Double Dash card.
I'm
I know
not
the-
really 100% sure, but both of them you would unlock very late into the game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not asking because I don't know.
The thing for me with Boo pipes in gold pipes and just the regular Piranha pipes is that, and I noticed this tour where I actually have to use the normal Piranha pipes on a couple tracks, is that they do very well on the actual pipe tracks. And whenever you get to flat surfaces, for some reason, for me, I don't know if everyone else, I don't know if this is a personal skill issue, but I don't like them how they handle on flat surfaces. And I don't know if it's something with my iPad and the way that the iPad works. I don't know if everyone goes through the same thing, and it's a learning curve. I found them that the only way that I actually like them is on the Piranha Pipeline RT. That was like, okay, this is an actual very acceptable card for this compared to all the other options. It didn't give me an excessive amount of bounce. It didn't give me what I didn't want to have. But otherwise, they're gonna just sit there. I don't like them on the regular. So it's a very boutique kind of investment for me.
Okay.
I think a lot of people have actually mentioned that they don't like how those cards handle. Not the only one.
So I guess what I'm curious about, and I'll have to try it, is the RT. If the RT kind of does handle well, I don't remember if I specifically tried that one in particular. For me, it's not like the brooms. The brooms are just like awful. It definitely it feels different. I think if you drive it enough, like you just get used to it, and just like any other cart. But I think it's like the way that you're kind of up a little higher, and then you got like this end that you got to kind of whip back and forth. I don't know. I do believe they handle a little different, but it's not that bad. There's a lot of hype and a lot of overhype for these boo pipes specifically. So I'm just gonna shout out here to some people in the chat. I do hear that Tyler, Domo, Luca even puts a $50 bet on the boo pipes being better. Now, I know that tradition would say that the boo pipes would be better because they're a commemorative item and not something you get with rubies. But, you never know with Nintendo. Things could happen. I don't know. Some people, Matt Aldridge says, I haven't bought the gold pipe. I feel everyone is overhyping, and we could get disappointed. And so we got this back and forth hype over. This might be the actual conversation of the episode. It seems like these pipes are polarizing. Everyone's going back and forth. I don't know. I think regardless, it's probably wise just to put my Studfit hat back on. I think it's wise just to wait until next tour. See what happens. See which one of these guys emerge. If you don't mind how it handles or you just get used to it, like that's awesome. Like I mean, I'm so finicky. I like have to have it a certain way. But if you're able to drive it and you like it, and then you just wait till next tour, pull the trigger when it fills a lot of gaps. I mean, you can typically can guess it's going to probably get at least 3 buffs. And it looks like next tour is not going to be a full city tour. But that right there is a segue, my friends.
If I could just come in just quickly, I was just going to say, we just had the silver warriors, the gold one. We've had Cupid's arrows, 2 of them. We've had, I'm missing...
Speedsters?
Yeah, Speedsters.
Yeah, the Shield of the Speedsters. And before that, we had the Comet. It's a bit
the Chomp Chariot, maybe?
Yeah, potentially Chomp Chariot. We've had so many cards. You can't go in all of them. And out of the way that they generally sort of handle, for that reason, and this tour being one that I'm chilling out on, that's the reason why if one turns out to be the next Blazing Eagle or Yellow Off-Roader, I'm not going to say no. I will get on that. But it's not something that is drawing me to go in early, like the Gold Shielded Speedster did, just because. Very much away.
I mean, the nice thing with those spotlight items is they'll come back after 4. I mean, it used to be you needed to pull something from a spotlight pipe, and you might not see it again for 6 months or a year, like Silver King, for example, legendary card back in this day for all the old heads out there. And by the time it actually came back, it was already well into its irrelevance. So if you didn't pull it, and it was a tough one to pull because it was a weird pipe, and a pipe opposite a coin box driver pipe. But if you didn't get it, that's it. But nowadays they're going to be back after 4 or 5 tours, so you can afford to take a little bit of weight. You see a brooch, and hey, maybe you got to pay 30 rubies more for it, but you can actually wait until you see how his coverage develops a little bit, you know?
Do we know if the gold items that they put in the spotlight shop, if they return in the same pattern that normal colored stuff does, or just like throwing it out there?
I'll answer that one.
I mean, not all gold items are considered like gold items. We have some gold items which come in the normal spotlight shop, right?
Yeah.
It depends.
We
Yeah.
do.
I mean, I'm just thinking about like the 8-bit gold glider, but I know those were like from the premium challenges and stuff like that.
I think the gold pass gifts don't come back as.
They don't come back. But you think, like, for example, gold Cupid will come back in the spotlight shop?
The gold Cupid's arrow is in the gold card pool. You can already get it in the spotlight
okay.
shop. It just has like a very small
It's
chance.
just that rare chance.
Yeah.
I will say, while we're talking about gold things, there's a lot of black item hype in the chat. I see the Black Eagle, Black Cupid's Kart. How awesome would that be? Gold Cupid arrow. Would love that.
Yeah.
People are already
That was a
salivating.
Black Eagle.
By the way, related question from Matt. Is there any point to stashing items anymore? What percentage of these items will end up sitting on your shelf forever? Now, I know you can get sometimes at a discount, but and that's why some people would stash. Like, for instance, like with Pauline, I'm not getting her at all, and I'm gonna take that risk. But there's some items where it's like, you can wait and see. You're almost paying you're paying a discount to sit on something and wait for a couple of tours to find out if it's even worth spending the 70 rubies on in the first place, or 105 for that matter. So yeah, I mean, is it even worth stashing items? Why can't you just wait till stuff comes in the spotlight shop to begin with?
Just to commemorate items, really. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, personally, I think the best time to invest in an item after it's seen 3-4 tours, then it's still got its kind of ranked peak ahead of it, but you got an idea of how it's going to develop.
Yeah, I will say this is a unique take that I don't know if but I'm kind of going back to the Piranha pipes and like the way that they handle. I'll be honest with you, the first time I tried to use the off-roader, it handled differently. Here's the thing, I've probably driven the off-roader more than any other kart in the game, just like the off-roader like style. But I do remember when I first tried it out, it definitely handled differently. Now it's grown on me to the point where it's now my favorite kart to drive. But like at first, it did handle a little differently. Do you believe that things handle differently, and do you think like the off-roader handles differently? And now like we've become like so like accustomed to it that like we don't even realize that it does handle differently than other karts. Never talked about the off-roader like that before.
I mean, yeah, I can see that. There are some tracks where I have, say, the shielded and I have the off-roader, with the off-roader obviously having a bigger hitbox, and it's a coin boxer, and I know that I'm going to get way too much balance off of the off-roader, and I go for the shielded. I think not everyone has the luxury to do this,
Fair.
obviously.
Yep.
But yeah, I also think it depends, one, your skill level, two, the device you use to play, the way that you play it, three, the type of track, for the skill that you're using. Doesn't matter that you have a bigger hitbox or not. But I think it in the case of off-roader, it's an element of using the kart that we've all been willing to assimilate into our gameplay than other things that are the room, for example, or the pipes for me are like, some other that might not feel comfortable to play with.
So let me ask you a question with that. So let's say you kind of some of us have said the pipes, the boot pipes as an example, it looks beautiful. We all agree on that, but it handles just a little different. What if it was bigger than the off-roader, maybe just by a hair or two? Like, would you be willing to overlook it? And I think comparing it to the brooms, like the brooms, I just never would. But the pipes I probably would. The pipes I definitely would certainly get used to and just get familiar with. Would you?
I mean, I would have to see. I would have to then go to the other elements that make a car valuable for me. Like, okay, is it worth investing my time in learning how to handle them if they're gonna deliver something else than just a hitbox? Because, for instance, I didn't invest on the Warriors armored type carts for a while, like a long while, because they have a slightly similar thing where like they're kind of draggy and like sometimes it doesn't just quite work to like getting first because they're like, you know, keeping you back. But their value is so massive, their hitbox is so massive, and just in terms of where I use them, it makes it worth. For me, yet it just doesn't deliver enough for me. They might be great for another account, just not for mine.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe another conversation for another day because we still have to talk about the Sunshine Tour. I mentioned making a good segue about 20 minutes ago, and then we got engaged in further awesome conversation. So I was going to mention about the Sydney Sprint and as my segue about next tour not being a city tour. However, I think it makes sense for us to transition instead from looking at the trailer, which we saw this morning. Hopefully you guys all saw that. But with so many large carts introduced lately, like with the ones we just mentioned here briefly just now, are you relieved that none of the carts look massive? Or maybe they are massive and just have tiny drivers and again, we won't know until they come out, or Rashid gives us the heads up on what he feels the hitbox is, or maybe it doesn't matter. But you know, what do you think about the carts next tour?
I can't wait to use that green bus again. It is such an amazing car. You know what? The only car that's worse than that is the British red bus.
Double decker.
Yeah, the double decker. I can't think of anything. I invested in that. The green one. I thought, oh god, you know, back when I had no clue. Yeah, was I relieved when I saw that? So I was like, would I invest in any of these? I was like, no. I was like, yes. Continue saving. That was my immediate reaction.
I haven't even completed the mini
boy,
split.
you did race it once. It looks like.
Respect.
Oh no, I'm not gonna get. No, it's too embarrassing. I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, I saw savings tool for me. But yeah, as you said, who knows? Something can come out. I like to have my coverage sorted, so it's more likely that if there's big holes in terms with gliders and stuff, but if it's a city and everything else, then it's unlikely. So I was quite happy and relieved to again feel like I can save up some tickets.
Kareem, I think you would look good in that Wario bus driver outfit with those plaid pants and suspenders.
Yes, sir.
Dude, I'm half Scottish, so me and Tartan.
By the way, Puffton is.
I want to see you on a Kart Talk cosplaying as Wario bus driver.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
I'll tell you what, I don't know. We'll come up with some cheeky little.
Can't make Sammy change his bet. Make Sammy change his agreement with you to make you do that next time instead. Hey, Wootmoo does say the cart, from what he says, the carts all have the same handling. However, the hitbox of the carts can affect gameplay, such as going over bumpy road surfaces, and the hitbox affecting timing between changing mini turbos and hitting walls. So I can believe that. I actually, that makes a lot of sense if that's how it works. Again, you know, looks like the skill also may have a small impact on how the cart performs too. So maybe a mini turbo, it's a little faster, like boom, turbo off of it. Who knows? I do see. We also mentioned Puffy. What's going on, Puffy? Puffton 11 TY7. We love Puffy. All of us love Puffy. And hey, say hello to Anselov as well, your boy. I will say I can't stop, man. When I hear about that cart, Kareem's favorite double decker cart, I can't stop thinking about the double decker prank that you can set on people where You go to the bathroom on the tank side instead of the toilet side. That's called a double decker. It's my podcast. That's what I can't stop thinking about every time I hear about that cart.
What is this?
Yes.
What?
This is a prank people do. It's called a double decker. It's where you remove the tank from the back of the toilet, and instead of taking a copper temple from the regular toilet, you do it in the tank. And then, it's disgusting.
That's a thing?
That's a thing, a double decker.
I feel I moved into an alternate universe. I have no clue what's going on.
Okay, let's talk more about that then.
Maybe, is it like an East Coast thing? Is that?
You know what? I think the double decker is when you do it in both. You think you're right, Antlev. It is the upper decker if it's the.
This sounds like a college thing.
It's a prank.
Sounds like a Studfit thing.
No, do it to all your friends. No, do it to your friends. Try it out. It won't end horribly at all. I promise you.
I can see you and Jeeves really getting along with this. I don't want to start putting it in people's minds, but for some reason, that's what I'm.
Hey, if you have one takeaway from this episode, it's the upper decker / double decker. All right.
I'm being like really careful to avoid making Pauline, cowgirl Pauline jokes.
Yeah, maybe another time. We'll stick to Yawleen. We like Yawleen. That's a good name for her.
What's the rating of this episode? Because
I don't know. YouTube can ban me at any time for anything that I say. So who knows? I always click the button. It's not for kids. So don't keep.
Okay.
Yeah. So kids should not be watching this. If you're
keep
not
it rated R.
Yeah. Yeah, we tried not to curse, but we've already broken that rule this episode, so it doesn't matter. All bets are off at this point. It's unscripted. I do want to get to Sydney Sprint because we talked about this briefly. It does look like it's going to show up next tour based on the little video we saw today. We even had like Waluigi Stadium last tour, which was a city tour. Do you think we'll ever get cities completely intermixed with retros and assumed tracks? Do you think that's in a realm of possibility in the future?
It's too obvious and normal to do for Nintendo. It's such an obvious thing to do that Nintendo won't do it. That's my point.
I hope they do that.
They will.
I hope they do that because I would love for them to sprinkle out just one city. It doesn't have to be 2 or 3. Like next tour, since we're getting spinny, why not? Let's make it a further step. Maybe the following tour, let's bring back Paris, or let's bring back London, or bring back LA laps. I would like that. Add some unique flavor to it.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years. Like it's so obvious. I don't understand.
They're gonna run out of ideas at some point and start doing the obvious. So let's hope for that.
I don't know, man. I'm not holding my breath for anything like that from Nintendo. Oh man, it's like it frustrates me because I wish they would just do it.
I mean, at the same time, we're still talking about the people that released a new trailer as private this morning. So yeah.
No, the thing is like, this is Mario Kart Tour, and before the game was even coming out, the whole marketing advertising draws. Hey, you're gonna race around the world. We're gonna go to these cities and race there or whatever. Look, we all would love it from a inventory management perspective, investment perspective. Can we just make cities the same as everything else? But like going back to the point that Sana mentioned earlier, the more often something comes back, the less special it is. I think it's pretty special that we had a track that Pink Gold Peach hadn't seen yet that came back a couple tours ago when we got New York Minute back. So the min-maxer efficiency player in me says, yes, please, cities the same as retros. But the other side, it's like, it's something to look forward to when we get, when Singapore comes back, I'm like, oh yeah, that hits different, it's,
I agree.
That music, if we would get that back more often, I don't know, maybe it would lose a bit that special feeling.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, well said there. All right, good. I'm looking at next tour, and I saw the reaction. I was, the first word that came up to mind is the other F word, the filler word. Is this a fill?
Don't say
no such
is
thing.
this a fit?
Don't say that word.
is this a filler tour?
It's not the F word. Okay, we're getting a new retro track, which is Lakeside Park. So
Okay.
it's not a filler tour. That thing does not exist anymore. We're not in 2020 or 2021. So next question.
All right, next question. So we'll circle back.
He took care of that.
Anybody else have an opinion? It's not allowed.
I had to ask, guys.
I'm with you, Hero. By the way, I'm just saying.
Thank you.
Good guys. So I'll go back to Matt Aldridge's question. He posted in the chat. If you have any questions to ask the panel, feel free to drop that in the live chat right now because otherwise we may not have time to get to it. But Matt asked, this even kind of goes back into our question that we had earlier about this ballooning that we're kind of getting with top 100. Many people still don't have some categories maxed, mainly because we have so many cards introduced every tour, so many drivers introduced, so many top skill drivers, so many tracks introduced. Do you think this is the way that they're counteracting? Like, if they didn't do this, would they come out with level 9? Do you think this has anything to do, like the amount of items that are coming out, the amount of tracks coming out? Do you think that a level 8 or level 9 update is ever coming, or is level 8 the end game? Big question.
Speaking from someone who's a whale and has a very strong account, prior to this influx of huge tracks, like my concept was it's a triple or a quad or forget about it. I'm now having to reevaluate that, especially with cards. So it certainly has set back my. The only reason I would want personally level 9 to come is the disadvantage it would give to everybody else. Therefore, giving me an advantage having saved up tickets in anticipation for it, which is not a really good, way to think about the game. You want everyone to do well and stuff. So, but at some point, I feel it has to come. I'm seeing so many level 8s now. It's like when level 7 came out, when level 8, it was all seemed so far away, and now there's a hell of a lot of it. I think it will have to come, and I hope something else comes, something new as well. Because, but I think I feel it has to. Like, otherwise, what else are they gonna do? Like, how many items now do you have at level 8 Studfit? Like, I'm guessing probably a good.
Yeah, I will. So here's the thing. So like in I think when level 8 first was released, and the same thing happened with level 7. Like, actually, the first couple tours, I had an advantage because, like, I a lot of the regular players didn't have anything at levels 7 or 8 at the time. Whereas, like, now I might have like a really good loadout in my mind, and then I'm still finishing like 10th on my friends list because I have that one card at level 6. Or I don't put enough time to get as high of an action count or something like that. My main point is, like, the advantage of being a whale is no longer there. We have casuals with like level 8 quad cap across the board. It seems if they really wanted it. So I don't think the whales have that much more of an advantage anymore. To your point, and that's, you can see it in just like in ranked. I think in top 100 it's another story, but in ranked, I haven't like put a lot of I don't invest in ranked anymore, but like because of that, I finished probably right at like number 10 on my friends list, and you can see it right there. You're on my friends list. I'm nowhere close to the top anymore because everyone has a great loadout.
Yeah.
So
everyone's been catching up.
Everyone's right there.
A while ago, getting an item to level 8 for me, it was a dream. It was never going to happen. And right now, I could take like 4 items to level 8 if I wanted to. And I think that's the case for a lot of people, and that's why the barrier of getting into top 1,000, top 100, top 10 is getting higher, because more people are getting better items over time, and more people are hitting the ceiling of maximizing those items.
Yeah, but like speaking from a gold pass only kind of perspective, I can just speak for my account. Like I only have normal gliders section in daily selects, for example, maxed in like one item at level 8 in the daily selects, and then my only other like level 8 item that I use is my gold me. So like
Sammy's account. You're like Sammy.
yeah. I mean, kind of. So like for us who are not kind of like speed running the game in that way, where you kind of advance your account at a faster rate with all the tickets being bought, etc. Like the game for me, I still feel like I have more to do and more to achieve and more. I have a plan where I kind of want to put my tickets, etc. So at least for me, as a Gold Pass only player, it doesn't feel like it's plateaued yet. But there has been a history of whenever I start finishing up the daily select sections, they add another level. So I only get to enjoy the tickets for like a couple of weeks and then they release the next level. So maybe this is a sign, like I'm just like kind of finishing up the next section of daily select. So everybody be on the lookout.
Oh my.
Nintendo's probably dropping the next level.
Thanks, Shauna. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
This is actually a really good point in the data selects, and I think this is the reason why level 8 is not coming soon. The reason why level 7 came and the reason why level 8 came, in my opinion, is because too many people were maxing out their daily select categories, and it wasn't just the whales, it was gold pass players who were getting more categories maxed out, getting those tickets every day. And when you have a steady supply of tickets in your daily select shop, that really takes away the incentive to, pull for dupes back in the old regime, or buy dupes in the current regime, buy the premium challenges plus, etc. My main account still don't have common cards maxed out because they added 5 new ones and they made it 40 tickets to go from level 7 to level 8. And so that is my main account that has a good number of level 8 drivers. I've got 80 of each high-end tickets stashed up, an account which could probably go for top 10 any tour if I wanted to. And I don't have one of the basic categories maxed out. And so if you, kind of, I think because they expanded the daily select shop so much, added so many items, and also made the number of tickets required to go from level 7 to level 8 like double what it was for the normals and for the supers, it's keeping a lot of people from getting more categories maxed out. They also reduced the incidence of high-end tickets. It used to be 10% per slot for a high-end, now it's 6%. Especially the driver tickets went from 5% to 2%. So people are not accumulating tickets so quickly through those specific channels anymore. So that's why I think, nothing to do with how many people are getting items to level 8 or whatever. It's more about the supply of tickets coming through. And I think we're not at the point where we were for the level 8 game. And also where the level 7 game, that people are able to. I remember when level 8 came out, it was basically just kind of like, I can kind of max out. I can make anything level 7 that I really want to. It doesn't really seem like that big of a deal, And level 8 now, a new item comes out, I'm like, shit, 22 tickets to max that one out. I'm not gonna do that. Actually, I'm just gonna wait and see. And honestly, even my main account, if I want to gamble, it's level 6 and not level 8 because there's just too many things now.
Also, I think from Nintendo's point of view, if level 9 comes in and suddenly there's no tickets being seen in people's shops at all, apart from the little base ones, what happens to, the richest commodity right now is coins for the, rubies for coins to get the tickets. And I'm sure there are plenty of people who are purchasing rubies to get those tickets. And if those tickets aren't in your shop, who's going to be buying those rubies, turn it into coins to get those tickets? So there might be an element of that. There might be revenue concerns, I suppose. It's very hard for me, this is not remotely a flex thing. It's very hard for me to think about it from other people's point of views because my account is very, very different. But I can totally understand why, it's got the special sheen over it. Let's not forget level 8, how do you trump the sheen that goes over the level 8 card? So I would love it personally, but I can see why everyone else is like, no, no, no. But what I do know is that if it does come, Nintendo will compensate us in some which way. It's not going to be the end of all ends, it's not Armageddon. They will do something. It may not be pleasant, but I always like a shake-up, good or bad. A shake-up makes the game interesting. And level 9 would not be the highest on my priority. I would love them to introduce something different and new. I don't have the creative brain to come up with something, but all I know is that when something new happens, I get I get a buzz out of it. And if it's level 9, so be it.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's only one person we all know that wants level 9, which is you, Kareem. So I don't think anyone else would be interested in that. But honestly, if level 9 comes, then who knows when it will come? Because if you remember, we had that huge update prior to the before tour. I think it had I don't remember how much megabytes it was or gigabytes or something like that, but it was very long, and we thought it was going to be something huge, but it turns out it was only about that battle glitch strat where it's shrooming is no longer allowed and stuff. So and everyone thought it was going to be level 9 or something. So obviously back then I was always complaining about level 7, level 8 coming, but since I pretty much accomplished the game, I've pretty much gotten all the badges 1,110. I honestly don't mind if level 9 comes because I've done everything I could in this game. I've completed everything. So
I think we're sitting in a little bit of a bubble here, because Kareem, you made a really good point, from my perspective, from your perspective, letting level 9 come. And then as Sana was saying earlier, from my account, which is Gold Pass only, it's a struggle. It's hard out here. Look at my free-to-play account. When level 8 came, actually had absolutely zero impact on me whatsoever, except that I got a bunch of free tickets. And the reason being is I was never going to make an item. I did not have any item even level 7 at that point, and I think I have Meowser level 7 and maybe PGP level 7 just through pulling dupes or whatever. But level 8 is not even on my radar. So if level 9 comes out, actually doesn't impact me in the slightest, my free-to-play account. And this is not like a casual account. This is an account which made it to tier 80 and got the gold Mii suit, has some top 1,000 badges. It's a pretty good account for a free-to-play account. But level 8 is not even on the radar. So if level 9 comes, actually, I'm not going to max out any categories. I'm not going to have a level 8 high-end, level 9 high-end, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, a couple things we're seeing in the chat. I think that Cranbo says Kareem is right. Shakeups are good. I like Domo's comment. Shakeups are good, but level 9 will be such an uncreative one. There's so many creative shakeups that they could take. That this one just seems so just lame and boring. So there's those comments. I also want to make 2 quick shout outs. So Crazy, welcome to the stud tier, and Nitenja upgraded to the stud tier. Happy to have you guys both there. That's exciting. I think when it comes to the levels and everything, there's some comments here. What if they took the supers or the normals to level 9 and kept everything else the same? And I don't think that they would do that. I think they would have to take everything across the board. It would be interesting for that kind of the daily select dilemma if they did it that way, and it could kind of make them kind of on par or slightly useful to some extent. But I don't know. I just think even in my space, it's so weird that I don't mind shakeups, but I'm still I feel even as a whale I'm catching up. I want to take this Black Shield Speedster up to level 8. I still have to I'm literally waiting pens and needles, opening my daily selects to see if I can get a ticket or to take it there. So I'm in that state right now where I'm still playing catch up. Even as a whale who gets commemorative stuff and gets all the premium stuff. And I don't know. I still feel there's enough to play catch up on. I really make investments for one of 3 reasons. One, I love the item, the Black Shield Speedster. I don't need it at level 8, but I want it because it looks so awesome. Or 2, it is a meta item. The 8-bit 1-up mushroom, do I think it looks great? No, it looks fine. But it's so powerful, and it's just I quad, it's at its highest level. And then third, I fill gaps. So Flowery Badwagon was a gap filler for me last year, and so those are the top 3 reasons. And I still I'm still there's still so many gaps because so many tracks are released, and like I'm still playing catch up in my mind. So I would love a shakeup, no doubt about it, but not level 9. I don't think level 9 makes a lot of sense. They could certainly move the shimmer, but there is a shimmer on 8. I think the biggest question I have and what Nintendo was doing was why the cap changed with level 7 when level 8 was introduced. Do you remember that? So now, like, you know, things are triple capped, got like an additional like free 30 points or something like that. Doesn't make any sense to me. Like, do switch ups like that, Nintendo. Do something a little squirrely, a little left field, like that we have to kind of like rethink things. I don't know, like that's the kind of stuff I want Nintendo to do. Not level 9.
Yeah, I think a lot has been, I guess, put out in theorized, I guess, about this being also kind of a leveler in between the normal high ends and the Mii's, where, you know, add another cap to the normal high ends, or I don't know. I think it was Karim who put out the idea that maybe you could have a ticket that you assign to a particular thing to make it comparable to what outcome and base points you get out of using a Mii. I think those are changes that are more transformational than just bringing a level 9. That it's a blanket change that doesn't solve anything really. I mean, it just adds another level. It doesn't really. The real issues within the game right now and how people spend their money are not being addressed by that. That I would be more interested in that. I would be far more interested in giving all my normal hands investments a chance, other than it's either maxed out or not, you know?
So I'm more interested in talking about that too. Stupendous asks a question that's very similar to that one. That what can Nintendo do to redeem non-Mii drivers and make them relevant? Would increasing frenzy rates over Mii be enough? Like, let's say perhaps unlocking a 4th frenzy above level 6 or level 8 for non-Mii drivers. They need to buff non-Mii drivers somehow. But again, not in a lame way like we just talked about. Oh yeah, everyone gets base points, congratulations. But like, what if they made frenzies or did something like cool? Like what? There's so many opportunities here. So a non-Mii coin box even like a non-Mii coin box like Gold Luigi Knight is not a must invest anymore. In fact, he invested in a banana barrel Mii over the Gold Knight, which is crazy. So I have 2 questions. One is that question, which I'd love to get to in here in a second. But let's say next tour they said, oh, by the way, all non-Miis now have the same base points as the Miis, and they're all, you know, whatever points you got for your Miis also are now non-Miis. Like, how mad would you be, or happy would you be? How many tickets would you write to Nintendo? I mean, like, how scary would that be if you invested into Miis? If that happened, that's question number 1. We'll start there.
I mean, I think I would be happy if they made that change, because I don't know if everybody was hoping for it, but when the Miis had been here for a year, I was kind of hoping that they would have let the Miis have their time to shine and be what they were, like unbeatable for that 1 year, and then kind of adjust so that the game was still, you know, we still wanted to invest in like Wiggler, for example, when such a character is introduced. But I was talking to Draco the other day, and I was saying, like, what if they could, I think there's like approximately double the amount of normal like character drivers than there are Miis, approximately, even a little bit more. What if they added 5 base points for each high-end driver that you own? Could kind of balance things out a little bit. Or they could just do, like you said, just from like next tour, every high-end driver has the same amount of base points that your Miis do, and that would still incentivize you to buy the Miis, because it would raise the base points of your character drivers as well. I mean, I think it's a shame. I think it's fun with the strategy of buying the Miis, but it's such a shame that we're missing out on the cool animations and the original drivers, etc. So I mean, I personally hope that they can find a way to balance it, and that those two options are ways of doing it. But yeah, otherwise, I don't know. I think I'll just have to keep paying my Mii tax.
Yeah, Mii tax is starting to add up, but yeah,
Yeah.
Alchemist makes a good point that buff coverage is the only way to balance the Mii's. They've been doing that. The thing about like the non-Mii's have more tracks, or at least start with more tracks and have more tracks for a longer period of time than the Mii's. But if they did that and all of a sudden I would definitely be a little teed off. Now here's the thing: is there's going to be like those 10 people that like the actually people that like are like I told you so, and like those people being happy would make me so upset because those people we've been trying to get them on this to get them on the bandwagon this whole time, and they've been fighting it and fighting it. So for that reason, I hope it never happens. However, I'm totally cool because I do want to use like a Gold Luigi Knight. Like I'm now all in this Knight stuff. I love the Shield Speedsters, love like all this stuff. I would love to use him again, but he's a coin box sitting at level 1, and he probably will be forever, and it's kind of sad. But I do think that if Nintendo gave a higher frenzy chance or something unique to them, I think that's a great way to kind of counteract it. But if they just give it just blanket base points, that's lame, that's boring. It fits the same stuff that we've been talking about with level 9. I think if they have an opportunity, though, to not level the playing field exactly apples to apples, but they can apples to oranges. They can do some stuff to kind of make it a little bit more interesting. And I hope that they do that. I hope to God that they do that for the sake of their own game. Now, what that is, that's what I'm asking you guys about. What do you guys think that they could be unique, that would be different than just throwing some base points their way?
I think Alchemist was absolutely right. So people have put the actual hard-earned money, real money into the Mii's, and to suddenly have, because of their advantage, to suddenly have that wiped away. I don't like the idea of introducing a new mechanic that helps one thing and doesn't help another. The thing about the Mii's is when they first came out, they were new and everyone started in the same position with regards to that. And believe me, I'm someone who's now like trying to move away from the Mii's. Like I'm so sick and tired of them. So I totally get that. So I just don't understand why they don't have. I mean, they've always said, first of all, like that the base points could end like. The buffs that they get, the first of every cup, the Mii Cup. I mean, that's huge. It's not often talked about. You could change that. Perhaps that's a way to nullify the Mii's a little bit. I don't think you can introduce a mechanic that just benefits one type of driver over another. But new tracks, make a whole bunch of them that just don't have Mii's on them. That to me seems a rather simple way of dealing with the whole Mii thing. Like, don't have the gold Mii every tour in ranked or something like that. Like, why out of the 6 ranked tracks have 4 of them that don't have Mii's on it? All 3. That to me seems the only fair way. Because if I've invested a lot of money to get Mii's and buy them and whatnot, and then all of a sudden, I agree. All of a sudden, I don't think all of a sudden we're going to wake up and find everything else's base points are massively higher. But that strength that they have, I know, will be whittled away. I'd be a bit annoyed. I'd be like, I've spent money on this under the presumption that you have given. I don't think that would necessarily work or be fair. So the coverage to me, I don't know. Other people might have a different take. Maybe that's just my mind.
Kareem, in finance, we call that talking your own book. You're promoting your own products there. No, I hear what you're saying. It would be, but I mean, the game, games do this all the time. They rebalance powers of certain elements of the game, and they nerf powers of other certain elements of the game. I think they could do a lot of creative things that would make it more interesting to invest in normal characters next to Mii's, and something like a blanket point bonus to non-Mii drivers. I think would be, I think it wouldn't be so interesting. I mean, I'm agnostic on this. I am into Mii's on both accounts. I'm into some normal drivers. I will take the game as it comes. I will adapt. I don't get annoyed about those kind of things. some new information comes in, and I will assimilate that and make my decision based on what I know. But there are some, Sammy had an idea. We could have like set bonuses. You could get extra base point bonus for using a full item set somewhere on the track, or owning a full item set even. I had an idea. You could do base point bonuses for the number of character alts. So like an extra 10 points for every high-end Mario alt you own, or a base point bonus for completing a set of alts. Like if I've got all of the Toad high-end alts, I get a base point bonus for all those Toads. You could do interesting things like that. That wouldn't be so boring as, just giving blanket base point bonus to bring normal drivers up to Mii's. And on the other side of your point, like bringing more tracks in that just don't have Mii's, you run into the same problem what we used to have with non-coin box tracks and coin box tracks. Yes, you can introduce a track that doesn't have Mii drivers, but people will still say, hey, eventually this track is going to get a Mii top shelf. Like what we always said before with these tracks, yeah, this is a non-coin box track, but you know what? At a certain point, a coin box driver is gonna show up on this track, and then it's gonna kill whoever's top shelf there. And people do take that into account when they're investing. I definitely take that into account now. Like leveling up Light Blue Shy Guy Explorer for a certain track that doesn't have a Mii on it. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's just a placeholder. So I'm only going to make him level 6. I'm not going to spend the extra 13 tickets to make him level 8, because I know as soon as a viable Mii comes along for that track, I'm going to rather invest in that, which cannot be beat than Light Blue Shy Guy Explorer.
Because I feel that's the precedent that Nintendo has made. These Mii's just keep on coming. If they, over a period of time, show that actually there are going to be tracks that the Mii's are not going to generally appear on, and we see plenty of tracks that don't have Mii's on it, people will start to feel more confident to do that. Believe me, I want to use. I have no interest in using a Mii. I didn't even know what a Mii was when it came out. I would much rather use Meowser. I love using. I waited a whole year to get Santa Bowser. I would love to use those. And in the same way, they could apply. You don't necessarily have to wait for a coin box. Boomerang is now so powerful. I just think that Nintendo needs to address it I like the whole idea of doing something with sets. I just think base points, levels and base points, I want them to come up with something else that affects things. I don't know how. I don't have the answer. Which maybe means I shouldn't say anything, but levels and base points, something else. I don't know what, just something else.
This will be my last.
The matter of the fact still stands that like the base points, they matter so much. So if they did this to the Mii's, like they try to kind of balance it out. Okay, they'll get less tracks and less coverage, but they'll have the increased base points. Well, the fact of the matter is that we will still choose the Mii's because of the base points in any. Regardless, we don't care about that they have less tracks as favorites. So I think, unfortunately, fixing the base points for the other drivers is kind of the only viable option.
Yeah, if they only had 12 tracks, I think I'm not so sure people would be so confident if they only had
12 tracks is not realistic, though. It would get more than 12 tracks, or would it not?
DK Mii had 8 tracks for God knows how long.
Oh, really? Okay.
But he doesn't have 8 now. He eventually got tracks. He
eventually did.
But they were DK, Dino Jungle, and some tracks you didn't need him on. But I think Zana, you make a really good point. Like you almost have to address the base points. Like skills are not gonna, because I've mentioned before. I still kind of think this is the first part at least is a good idea, which is like for ranked, one of the new ranked reward is a blue ticket, and that blue ticket will change something about the driver for 24 hours. And so I was thinking skill, you can make anything a coin box driver for 24 hours. So, hey, I got 24 hours now. Now I'm going to use my ticket. Or you save it up for something and then you use that ticket. And so that's what my thought was. But now we're at the point where even a Coinbox non-Mii is still not going to bring as many points as a Mii driver that's even non-Coinbox at this point. So maybe though, instead of the skill, maybe it's the base points, or maybe it's something else, or maybe it's a frenzy ticket or something like that. I mean, I think that ultimately there's a couple ways that Nintendo can approach the situation where we have to earn it. It's not just given out. It's not just a flat, like, here, we fix this, and then everyone who actually pays money for the game gets them upset, because that's the last thing you want to do. We've always kind of talked about this. Nintendo will never nerf something, like take something away, but they will always continue to add something, introduce something new, and that has to be the way. They're never going to nerf the base points of the Mii's will never be taken away. Now, could they give something to the non-Mii's? Yes, maybe no, maybe so. But I think like giving it in a very exclusive way, maybe by winning ranked, and maybe even put some other limitations on it, like time, or like maybe even if you go up a level in like player level, maybe you get this ticket. There's so many ways that they could do it. As long as it's not just a blanket, oh, here we go, and then everyone's, then everything that we've invested in is no longer an investment, and now just kind of like we're the laughing stock of the community. That would be the worst thing that Nintendo could do to this game. But I hope they do something, just not level 9. All right, so we are now at 2 hours. Can you believe that 2 hours just flew by? Oh my gosh, shock. Yeah, so we don't really have a lot. I have to run, but so we don't have a lot of time to go through like advice for new players or anything like that. But I would like to go around and just thank your new fans, and we'll start with the new players. So crazy. I know we with 7 guests. We're all jumping in, but hopefully you enjoyed your time here. What would you like to say to your fans as we wrap up and you say your goodbyes?
I don't think I have many fans, but to the 1 or 2 that are out there, I thank you for watching. I had a lot of fun, and I hope to be here sometime again soon. Awesome.
So appreciate your face reveal, as well as also Sana. Thank you for joining us as well. What would you like to say to all of your fans? I'm sure Antlev will be, he'll run his own fan club that you can join at 1-800-FAN-SAUNA. And
yeah, you guys can message Antlev to join my fan club. He's the president. I'm kidding. No, he was just one of those people that when I eventually made myself present in the community, he just really took me in, gave me some advice, whatever. And I was really pleasantly surprised with how the community welcomes a girl into the gaming community, because it's not every gaming community that does that. So really huge props to the Mario Kart Tour community that we have going on here. I think it's honestly pretty special. And thanks for being able to record at this time. I'm sorry we had to reschedule it, but yeah, it was super fun to be here.
No, good. I mean, if I will make some advice to people, which is, if you're in the shadows, if you're lurking, it's okay to step out of the shadows and reveal yourself. I think you'll probably enjoy the game and the community much more, such as Sana and So Crazy. See a lot of comments in the chat just about, hey, it's so cool seeing great new people in the community that we didn't know were here, even day one players and stuff. So if you're shy, totally get it, but I promise if you do step out, we will embrace you, we'll help you out, and so glad that both of you guys were able to join. And like I said, especially for females, I've always tried to bring in a diverse community into Kart Talk, and I think I've probably brought on somewhere between 12 to 15 ladies that are phenomenal and love this game and always bring good content, such as Avi. So Avi, what would you like to say to your fans?
I still haven't yet to meet them. But
I'm your biggest
we're fans. We're all fans here.
Well, I think what Karim is doing this tour, if you are a person that is doing ACR, as we are continuously, remember that this is a game. And yes, take it seriously, but also do not take it seriously. advocating for mental health, as we were earlier in the program, is very important. If you need time out, it's great. It will make you love it more. And so that is my one advice. I think I feel there's so many other things that can get us exhausted, and this should always be relief from that. So that is my advice.
Good. Yeah. Lucas says he's an Avi fan, and then Draco says he's a fan of everyone except for Yoshi Lover fans. So you might be speaking to somebody here. Hint to that person, but no, I appreciate you, Avi, being on and always bringing in good content. Always, like I said, I want more, especially more females to feel like welcomed into this community. I sometimes play other games, and there's females all over the place, and I wish that there were more. I know that there are many that play the game, so empowering young women to be vocal about the game and not feel like overwhelmed. You guys do a phenomenal job of that. Appreciate that. And then Antilev, thank you, man. Thank you for showing up on Kart Talk. Take your one Friday off of the month, and here you are joining us for Kart Talk. Appreciate you being on. You always bring in good content, whether you're on the clock or not. So thanks again for joining us, man. What would you like to say to all of your fans?
Actually, I wanted to address the point that you guys were just talking about. I am like old as dirt, and I've been in and around online gaming communities for probably 20, 25 years. I've noticed that the communities that are friendlier and more inclusive have a higher percentage of women. Are just like, there's just a better vibe going on there. When there's a better gender balance, there's a better vibe. And I've been in some communities that are like totally male dominated, and they really tend to be kind of toxic. I don't know if that's because toxic communities drive women away, or communities become toxic because there's a lack of women, but I think it's really important that we all put an emphasis on being like welcoming and inclusive, and also putting more women like front and center, because like a lot of times content creators, like it's like kind of a boys club. So that, and the other thing I want to say, it's been fun. It's been fun being my first Kart Talk. I've really enjoyed it. I think this is probably the last time I'm going to do it, because after this, I'm going to unfortunately, I have no choice, but I'm joining the Screen Actors Guild and Writers Guild.
Oh, no.
That's right.
Really, absolutely.
That's okay.
Right.
That's okay. I can tell you, Angela, what you have way outs from this strike. So long that you talk about past projects and nothing that is making you money. So for sure you can talk about Mario Kart, because if anything, what we do with this is lose money. So.
Right, it's not monetized. Right? Okay, that's okay. Okay. Then you see me next week on Rundown.
There you go. I will just say one last thing about women in the community. I always feel like they're not in the community or as present, because like awesome gamer ladies get like creeped out by like all these stalkers just from like jumping in. So the fact that Avi, you're still around here and no one's like freaked you out, like, it's just, I'm just so happy because
no.
Good. Okay.
We can talk about that in another episode.
Hey, we said we weren't going to mention that. We said not today.
Well, it's, as I say, it's not too late. Kareem still has to say his goodbyes. So, Kareem, what would you like to say to all of your fans, man?
Well, first of all, so crazy. You said you only had a few fans. Well, you've got another one here. That's for certain. I like a man of few words, but every word you said, I was impressed with. We briefly chatted here and there and stuff, and I'm totally on board with the
Lightning McQueen.
We'll leave that. We'll let that pass. That aside.
Bring that one. What did you say?
About the Lightning McQueen, basically the.
I've been trying to tell you guys this stuff. I've been trying to tell you guys. Come on.
We got to beat it into their brain.
In terms of having women in the community, so like, I'm very good friends with Abby, and I can tell you right now, like maybe there's a lot of guys who have this preconception that girls won't be good at this game or whatever.
That's
She's
BS.
a far better player than I am, and knows stuff. You just have to mention something, and she knows it. It's got it locked down. Her level of knowledge is really phenomenal. I would, if she had my account, God help you all. Let's put it that way. And Hero, of course, is he here? Where's he
Oh,
gone?
he had to leave.
He had to run.
Oh, classic Hero. He never says goodbye. It's so standard.
Ever.
He must be half Irish.
Give him
Yeah.
a break. He had another speaking engagement to get through.
And you know, Anslev's completely. If it wasn't for Anslev and like talking with him back a year or two ago about sheets and stuff, that's the advice I would say. If play the game to enjoy yourself, and if you're someone who likes to like really maximize and score well, there's no better man to talk to. And of course, Studfit, you're the glue. You know, you and Sammy are the glue to this community as far as I'm concerned.
Indeed.
That's basically, I would say to anyone, get involved, chat to Studfit, chat to Sammy, join in, say hello to Draco because he's a laugh. He's a good thing. And I would also suggest if you like your stats and stuff like that, Matt Aldridge and what they do over there, Ticket Time and stuff like that, I think is really, really top stuff as well. So there's so many good platforms out there. Make use of them, chat to people. People are really cool and really nice, apart from the weird pervy ones who pick on the women. I do apologize for my sex on that front. But I think we're trying and doing better. It's been a wonderful Car Talk, fantastic season finale, and congrats to you, Studfit.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, man. Thank you for inviting us.
Awesome. No, you guys are so kind. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys, and honored to be considered glue. Like I said, all I'm doing is let. No, honestly, I'm glad that just like I have this opportunity to put you guys up on stage and let you guys be able to have a platform, you know, for even 2 hours a tour. So. That's what I'm really happy about, and if it's my, you know, whether it's my platform or someone else was doing it, I'm just so glad that somebody is giving it to you guys. I'm just honored that I have this opportunity. Again, crazy. It's been 2 years. Shout out to so many people with the two-year anniversary of supporting this channel. Honestly, I'm tickled pink that I've had a channel with over 1,000 members for 2 years. Like that's just like, you know, it doesn't really matter in like the end of my world. Like if when I'm like laying my grave, but I feel like I just like the impact on people's lives. If I don't make no other impact in other ways, which I hope I do, I'm just glad I'm able to bring a smile and bring some entertainment to you guys watching at home. And thank you for joining me for this episode. Thank you for the fans watching the live chat. I see Natanjo, Alberto, Draco, Luca, Alchemist. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys joining. And thank you just for the support over the last 2 years, over 2 seasons of Car Talk. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Until next time with Antilev on the Rundown, may the frenzy luck be with you. See you guys.
See ya.
Ciao.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.